Hey, welcome to the Michelle Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Len, aka the Bat Tribble. And as always, I am joined by my partner.
Hey, this is Vincent Williams.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it is our first show in December, which means it is a very merry time of year.
Ho, ho, ho.
How. And we are going to kick things off with Vincent's first holiday selection, Almost Christmas, from 2016, a film written and directed by David Talbert and starring Danny Glover, Monique, Kimberly Elise, Nicole Outery Parker, Gabrielle Union, Carrie Hilson, Jesse Husser. I mean, who else is in this thing? Who is not in Almost Christmas?
Did you say Gladys Knight?
Blink and you will miss her.
Blink and you'll miss her.
The gorgeous, the one and only Gladys Knight.
The Empress of Soul is, I believe, the made-up political term that they came up for her.
Very true. We also have Romani Malco, DC Young, John Michael Higgins in this film that we will be reviewing tonight on the Michelle Mission, as we are streaming live via StreamYard to YouTube and Facebook to each and every one of our missionaries out there. Hello.
Hello, one and all.
It's the holiday season, Vincent.
Yes, it is.
Are you ready for the holiday season?
Hey, man, ready or not?
Yeah. Well, right.
Ready or not?
It's coming. It's coming. So looking forward to having a good time and looking forward to a good show with you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to kick things off real quick with some listener mail.
Missives from the missionaries.
And this is actually a YouTube comment that we received, Vincent, that I want to share with you.
Okay.
This was in regards to our review of The Toy.
Oh my goodness! Yes,
1982.
Speaking of Christmas, and that seems like although The Toy doesn't take place at Christmas, does it? Wait, does he get him for Christmas? Or
I can't remember if he gets it for Christmas or his birthday.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Right.
It's all a blur with the Toy.
Well, you know, slaves are like blue blazers. You can actually get them for a variety of holidays.
That's true.
So
they go for all occasions.
You know, Easter basket.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little awkward if it's one of the presents for Kwanzaa, but there you go.
People have been known to make them happen.
Right. But yeah, The Toy, I think, was his birthday.
Okay.
But anyway.
The comment we received via YouTube was from one Miss Green.
Hey, Miss Green.
1 hour and 38 minutes of giggling and simple tech difficulties. I don't remember the tech difficulties that we experienced on that show,
but it sounds right.
It sounds about right.
Yeah.
One guy can't stop giggling, and the other is irritated and getting angrier by the minute. The first guy is absolutely clueless that his co-host Vince can't stand his giggling. Please try again, fellas.
So you were giggling and I was angry.
Well, at first she was ambiguous,
but then she said,
then she found her hammer and hit it dead on the nail.
Dead on the nail.
Yes, I was giggling and you were growing increasingly angry.
Increasingly
angry with my giggling.
Right.
Do you remember that aspect?
I have no memory of that whatsoever.
Have you? Well, but
I also don't know if I've heard you giggle.
Well, I don't know.
Are you a giggler? You've never struck me as a giggler.
I wouldn't necessarily call myself a giggler. If things strike me as funny, I laugh.
You laugh, but you're not really a giggler. One who gets giggly.
I don't think I am. However,
one who engages in giggling.
When I saw this YouTube post,
okay,
I did ask my lady about it.
Do you giggle?
Well, I asked her whether or not she felt that sometimes I might be going on a little long with something, and did you ever notice that Vincent might be sitting there and actually be getting angry with me?
Right, because I'm usually so succinct and focused.
Well,
with my commentary and analysis.
According to her, she said that there are times when she can tell that you are far past the moment when you want to move on.
Okay.
And I am oblivious to it.
Oblivious.
And just keep going down tangent lane.
Tangent lane. Again, because I'm usually so focused.
Yes.
With my commentary and analysis.
So.
But that's how the magic happens.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Now, I'm looking in the chat with the missionaries.
And did we say good evening to them?
We did.
Okay.
Sharon Eldridge says that I'm going to need to eventually see the bottom of Len's shirt. Oh, my shirt. Oh, okay. I have I have on my Umbaku vegetarian restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shirt there. There you go. But Sharon also says that Len does sometimes giggle.
Okay, so there we have it.
We have proof.
We have someone co-signing on the giggling.
Co-signing on my giggling.
Apparently oblivious giggling.
Yes. George Kimona says that there are levels to the rage. Talking about you.
Sort of a rage lasagna.
Lasagna?
It's a lasagna of rage.
Okay. Yes. I guess lasagna has levels.
Maybe levels of rage.
Yes.
Maybe rage.
So you have you're making me giggle, Vince.
And now you're giggling. But this sounds like intentional giggling versus oblivious giggling, which you were doing during the toy.
Obviously, I was apparently. Because I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Okay. Well.
I don't know if that was a note or an observation or folks, we just make the podcast and we put them out in the world.
And
and once you release them out into the world,
there you go.
They're on their own.
Well, Miss Green, I will try and do better.
As will I.
You're going to get angrier better.
Hey man, I'm just look, man.
You're gonna get more angrier.
Look. Hopefully, I'm better today than I was yesterday, and tomorrow I'll be better than I am today.
Okay.
Whatever it is we're talking about.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Farrell Blackwell says it's perhaps a rage parfait.
A rage parfait.
Are there levels to parfait?
I didn't know
parfait
that.
Guy.
I didn't know. I thought maybe there was a parfait that I didn't know about, which seems reasonable.
But certainly, because I don't know much about
a parfait expert.
I don't think I've ever eaten past a spoonful of one parfait.
Right. So, perhaps there are levels to the parfait.
See, I was about to.
It's like a rage turducken, maybe.
No,
maybe rage turducken.
It's not a rage turducken.
It's not a rage turducken.
It certainly is not, because there's no such thing as a turducken.
It's no such thing. Wait, people make turduckens?
Who makes a turducken?
I mean, I've never made it, but you see it on the internet.
I don't
like people have made them.
So. I don't think, but it's not like a real bird.
No, it's not a real bird, but it's a real dish.
Well, I suppose. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Are we done with this?
You're
the one keep going down rage.
Actually confused by this entire exchange. And I'm trying to cover my confusion by riffing. I've been confused since the moment you said I'm going to read the comment. I'm just going along with it. Now maybe you can get angry with me because I'm going on longer than you.
Stop me from giggling. All right. we're going to keep it. We're going to keep this moving.
Okay.
Keep it moving forward.
All right.
Okay.
Onward and upward.
All right. All right. Where are we going? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give you a heads up that next week on Thursday, December 15th. December 15th will be the world premiere of Ripples in Time, the new Kindred podcast presented by the Michaud Mission, hosted by myself and Vincent, as well as our two friends, Ariel Johnson and Charlene Griffith. It will be debuting Thursday, December 15th, 7 p.m. We will be live streaming the show for you right here on our YouTube channel. And then the podcast will go up as an audio on our feed on Friday morning. So tune in next Thursday.
Going live.
Yes, for Ripples in Time, our review of the new Kindred TV series that will be dropping on Hulu by way of FX on December 13th.
Collection of personalities who've never done this together before, talking about something we've never talked about live. Doing it without a net, folks. Doing it without a net.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we will keep the giggling and the technical difficulties to a small minimum.
But with a healthy dollop of rage.
Yes. There you go. All right. So that'll be next week. All right. We are going to keep this train moving. We have other things we have to get into.
Okay.
Such as, Vincent, the top 5.
All right. Top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5, where I come up with a crazy list and Vincent offers his scintillating commentary on it, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's top 5 list, in celebration and in commemoration of the film that we are going to be reviewing, which is Almost Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, we're going to do the top 5 Almost Christmas movies.
Oh.
So these are movies that you might not think about it, but they are Christmas movies.
Might be controversial.
I don't think so.
Is the big one going to be on here? Are you going to make a definitive statement about where you stand?
I actually,
on the definitive Christmas movie argument,
I actually took the big one off of the list because I think that it's something that's been argued back and forth. And the big one, for those who don't know, is Bruce Willis's Die Hard.
Absolutely.
The argument is whether or not Die Hard, which does technically take place, I think is it Christmas Eve, or I
know it's a Christmas party.
Is a Christmas party. It's a Christmas
that
office
his wife
party
goes to. Yeah.
Right. That where Bruce Willis in Die Hard shows up at his wife's Christmas party, and then, as you know, hilarity ensues.
Right.
In that film.
And
the argument has always been whether or not is this a Christmas party or not. I tend to lean on that it is not a Christmas party
movie.
Or Christmas movie, excuse me, because while it is a quote unquote Christmas party, as far as I remember, I don't remember there being a whole lot of Christmas like imagery even at the party. You know what I mean? Like, you're told that it's a Christmas party, but there's not like a Santa Claus. There's not people running around in the Santa Claus hat. I don't remember. You know,
believe it or not, I am not a Die Hard devotee.
Okay.
So I actually haven't seen Die Hard in probably 2 or 3 years. I feel like there's Christmas stuff around.
Maybe, but I mean, it certainly is not the focus of the movie. We know that.
Right. And certainly it could have been any kind of office party that kind of gets the ball rolling, which I think my argument. I always argue that it's a Christmas movie just because I like to shake things up. But in my heart, I kind of count Christmas movies as movies that if you remove the Christmas element, it would change the movie.
Got you.
And I think Die Hard could have been any kind
could
of
have been,
office party.
yeah.
And it still retains the
Mhm.
magic
Yeah.
of Die Hard. But,
Yeah.
but Die Hard is not on the list.
It's not on the list.
Okay.
It is not. It's not on the list, and neither is your brother's movie, because your brother Damon argues that Beat Street is a Christmas movie.
Beat Street is a Christmas movie.
Is it? Is it really a Christmas movie, or does the Christmas happen to be a day that?
Well, Beat
falls...
Street has to be in the winter, so maybe not a Christmas movie, but it definitely has to be in the winter.
Okay,
so okay,
fair enough.
Maybe not. Of course, now that I think about it, except for Kool Moe Dee's performance, I don't know if Christmas. Oh no! It has to be during the holidays, because remember, Special K has the show on New Year's that he turns into the celebration.
Okay, yeah,
of Ramo's death.
Yeah, right. That's right.
So it has
to be actually during that holiday season.
Yeah, it's actually more of an argument for that to be a Christmas movie than Die Hard. It has to be around New Year's Eve.
Yeah, fair enough.
And Ramo has to die a week or so before New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So
okay, fair enough. Farrell Blackwell says, this reminds me, does the new movie Violent Night count as a Christmas movie or an action movie? That is a Christmas action movie, because Violent Night, which you may not, have you seen the ads for that
I've
movie?
seen the ads.
With David Harbour.
Sure, why not?
Of Stranger Days.
Stranger
Things, excuse me. Is decidedly Christmas motif. He's supposed to be kind of like Santa Claus.
Dress up as Santa Claus.
You know, so yes, it's a Christmas action movie. That definitely counts.
Yeah.
You know? All right.
None of these are on the list.
Those are not on the list.
Okay, well, what we got on the list?
So we're going to go to our list, Vincent. And let's go to number 5.
Number 5.
All right. Number 5. Now, number 5 is me dipping into my personal crate.
Okay, it's your personal stash.
So you know this is going to be a pre-civil rights movie.
Ralph Abernathy had to go see it in the afternoon in the balcony. Bring his popcorn with him.
And that would be...
There's no colors at the concession stand.
From 1953, Stalag 17.
A heartwarming film. Good Lord, Glenn.
Wait a minute. Stalag 17, which stars William Holden, it takes place in a POW camp during World War II.
This is fantastic.
The movie that would inspire Hogan's Heroes.
Right. Because the only thing better than a POW camp in World War II is some madcap adventures in a POW camp.
It actually is a very funny film. It's not a comedy, but it has very good comedic bits. Right, it's funny. Right. But it does take place in this POW camp.
Mm-hmm.
And it coalesces right at the holiday season.
Okay.
There's a big scene where the prisoners of war throw a big Christmas party that then becomes integral to the plot. And then the days leading up after that into New Year's or just before New Year's, kind of like still stay with the plot of the film. And the way that they celebrate their Christmas party, considering that they are POWs and it's all men in this in this camp, is actually a bit of a dialogue on how they had to, try and maintain some level of, civilization within that environment, and it's a funny scene, but it does have some, the drama intensifies in it as well as throughout the film.
Okay,
and it's a Christmas movie.
Is that Billy Wilder?
Billy Wilder,
yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
one of his better. He did very few bad films. But
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right.
You
saying Billy Wilder,
yes,
actually brings to mind that number 4 on my list.
Okay,
It's another Billy Wilder film.
Look, man. If you're gonna go old timey, like if I got to go past barking dogs and go in the back door, the movie should be good.
There you go. Number 4 is The Apartment from 1960.
Interesting. And why would you call this a Christmas movie?
I would call this a Christmas movie because this film, which stars Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine in her movie debut, and she's fantastic in it, and Fred McMurray as you would never see him before, and actually a movie that kind of like really he was nervous about taking because he's had like a good guy role, but he's great in the film.
This is before or after My Three Sons?
This is like right I think it's like right before My Three Sons.
Interesting.
But he's already started to cultivate like kind of like that good guy.
Right, like he's Fred McMurray.
Yeah, because actually outside of this and Double Indemnity, which was like years earlier, he's always been like a good guy.
Right,
you know what I mean?
But this is a Christmas movie.
This is a Christmas movie because the story revolves around Jack Lemmon, who has he's a bachelor and he loans out his apartment to all of the executives at his job, and for them to bring their mistresses,
right.
And during the office Christmas party, that is where there is a plot twist that happens that really sets this comedy into its more dramatic mode for the rest of the film. And that dramatic mode stays interspersed with, of course, more comedy all the way through to the end of the film, which climaxes on New Year's Eve.
Gotcha.
So it is all centered right in there in that holiday season.
Got you.
And it's one of my 10 favorite movies.
It's good stuff
of all time. It's one of the best films, Oscar-winning film. Everyone, if you haven't seen it, you should see and own The Apartment by Billy Wilder. All right, so that's number 4.
Number 4.
Now, number 3 is where 3 through 2 and 1 is where I get a little genre-y with it. And the films are in color.
Right. So I won't be accused of reckless eyeballing when I say put some butter in between the popcorn,
right?
Before you fill up the
right.
Okay.
So number 3, Edward Scissorhands from 1990.
Okay, all right.
Which takes place around Christmas time.
Absolutely,
definitely have the snow. It's a big part of the motif of the film. The imagery.
Tim Burton actually likes those.
Yeah.
Contrasting tones
of the gothy
and,
Edward, Edward and stuff. It's got Vincent Price in one of his last roles.
Yeah. This is before Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before.
Yeah, this is before that, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, he definitely likes those tones.
Yeah. And it's just a really, a heartwarming film. And I don't know, because of its, the gothicness of it, and it's kind of like, it's Tim Burton, so it's kind of like I don't know if people necessarily think of it as a Christmas movie.
Well, they go to the Nightmare Before Christmas if they're going Tim Burton,
which let's put it out there, he didn't direct that film.
Interesting.
Did you know that?
I don't think I knew that before this exact second.
Really?
Is that Henry's
Haley Selig?
He's the one who directed.
Right.
Okay, I guess I did know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's actually the director, but it's his name. Everybody's.
I mean, he's channeling Burton's vision.
True, but it's his.
But he did the work.
He did the work. Yeah. A lot of it is a lot of his designs.
Yeah. Okay.
So the man deserves his credit. That's number 3. Number 2. Trading Places.
Oh,
of course.
I don't even know why this is on the list.
Well,
do people argue about this?
I don't think people argue about it, but again, I don't know if it's a film that people necessarily immediately think as a Christmas film. Because you think of it as, it's Eddie Murphy's second movie.
Yeah.
But of course, it's Dan Aykroyd is walking around as the dirtiest.
Dan Aykroyd
Santa Claus
the salmon out of his suit is iconic.
It is. Jamie Lee Curtis, another great performance by her. to be fair, I did try and find another comedy to kind of slot in here.
Right.
I just couldn't find one.
Right.
Find one that really felt worthy of knocking Trading Places out of this spot, because I think Trading Places, along with Die Hard, while maybe Trading Places is not argued as much as Die Hard, but it's probably the bigger, as big a film as Die Hard that people don't necessarily think of as a Christmas movie.
I said it on our review. It's my favorite pop, quote unquote, pop crossover Eddie Murphy movie.
Pop crossover.
The one with white people.
Okay.
As opposed to Coming to America or Boomerang.
Which are
or Harlem Nights.
Right.
Which is black movies.
Right. Or Vampire in Brooklyn.
Right.
It's a black movie. Okay. Now, number one.
Now,
for number one, of course, if we're doing this and we were just taking, it would be Die Hard.
Yes.
But Die Hard is grandfathered off the list.
Okay.
So what else can I put on here that's akin to Die Hard? That was my thought.
Okay.
So it had to be an action film that I don't know if people
think of it as a Christmas
film. And to be fair, this is an action film that people sleep on.
Okay.
Hard. And that would be Gina Davis, Samuel Jackson, The Long Kiss Goodnight from 1996.
Does that take place during Christmas?
Does take place over Christmas holiday. And this, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care. This is one of the best action movies.
It really is.
Of all time.
Yeah, it really
is. Easily top 50, and depending on who you ask, some people might even put it in their top 20. It is an excellent movie. And I think, actually, I know Thelma and Louise has their devotees. I think this is Gina Davis's best movie.
Interesting.
I think she gets to play around with more range in this.
Yeah, I think I might have to join the crowd and go with Thelma and Louise.
Oh,
she's very good in this.
But you still will go Thelma and Louise?
Yeah, I go with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she's nothing real controversial here. I think Thelma and Louise is a masterpiece.
I do too.
Yeah.
And so does Sharon Eldridge. She says that she loves that movie. Thank you, Len. Yeah. You're very welcome.
Although the part where she's in the kitchen with Samuel Jackson and she's cutting up the carrots really fast, because for those of you that don't know, Gina Davis plays an assassin who loses her memory.
Right.
But she still has the muscle
memory.
So there's still this wonderfully absurd moment in the kitchen where she's preparing food and she's cutting up stuff really, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Oh, maybe I was a chef. Right. I'm so good with the knife." And I always think about that.
Yeah. So Sharon Eldridge loves that movie. Farrell Blackwell says, no, he hates this movie so hard.
Oh, no.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all.
Okay.
And Catrice Greer says that Gina Davis is fierce.
Yeah.
In The Long Kiss Goodnight. And she is.
Yeah.
She's absolutely fierce.
Who directed that? Somebody really cool directed that.
Oh, you know what? I had that. I'll bring it up in a quick second because I think it may be her. No, is it her husband at the time? What's his name? Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. The Long Kiss Goodnight was directed by Rennie Harlan.
Yeah.
And written by Shane Black.
There you go. The bona fides.
Makes sense why that would be
good bones. Good bones.
Absolutely great. So there you go.
If you take nothing from this, go see A Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yeah, go see A Long Kiss Goodnight.
And go see Wilder movies.
And the go see The Apartment. Some people not in the war films may not be in the Solid 17, even though it's not like war, like guns. But I understand. If you don't want to see Solid 17. But see The Apartment.
Yeah.
See The Apartment and see The Long Kiss Goodnight. That would be my, if you take away nothing from this.
And if you want to see a high concept, people escaping from a World War II POW camp, that would, of course, be Victory. with Sylvester Stallone, Michael Caine, and Pele, where they defeat Nazism with the power of soccer.
I've never heard of this film.
Come on, dog, stop. Yes, you have.
I've never heard
You
of
have
this.
100% heard of V for Victory.
I never knew this. Sylvester Stallone and Michael
Caine and Pele.
I didn't know that they were in a movie.
They are POWs, and then
who are POWs?
The three of them.
Are you? Wait a minute. They're like about 25, 8 years apart. All of them.
It's World War II, and everybody was fighting. They are POWs, and then the Nazis want to put on
a show,
basically, where they play soccer against the POWs to show Aryan superiority.
What's this, the longest yard in prison?
It is 100
in a boot camp.
That is exactly what it is. And then they play soccer against the Nazis to cover up an escape. But then at halftime, when they're actually supposed to escape, they're doing so well that Pele gives a rousing speech about how we can win the game.
Pele gives a rousing speech.
Yes.
Pele acts.
Pele.
Okay.
And they go out and they win the game. And it's the first time that many of us here in America ever saw a bicycle kick. Because Pele does a bicycle kick.
Mm-hmm.
They win the game, and then the crowd rushes the field and sneaks them out. And they beat Nazism with soccer. And they have a joke where Sylvester Stallone is the goalie because they say we're playing football. And Sylvester, well, you play football, this is how you catch a ball. And he can't figure out that you're not supposed to use your hands.
Mm-hmm.
So they make him the goalie.
This is before or after Rocky?
Oh, it's after Rocky.
It's after Rocky?
Oh, it's absolutely after Rocky.
It's after Rocky.
It's 100% after Rocky.
I've never heard of this film.
How have you never heard of V with Michael Caine, Sylvester Stallone, and Pele? They defeat Nazism with soccer. Pele does a bicycle kick.
I've never heard of this film. I don't believe that this is.
It's fantastic.
I don't believe this is actually a film.
It's fantastic.
I'm sure it's not fantastic. I'm sure it is 100% not fantastic.
They bust up Pele and he holds his side.
Of course.
And he's like, come on, guys, we can win. We can win. He has a heavy accent. I guess it's a heavy Brazilian accent, which
as he is.
Right. He's
Brazilian.
actually Brazilian. Right. But we can win. We can win. And then they go and they win. And they beat the Nazis.
So he's holding his side.
Right. Because they roughed him up.
Is this before or after the bicycle kick?
This is before the bicycle kick.
Of course.
The bicycle kick is the big where he does the bicycle kick. And they show it and they slow-mo the ball. And you see the ball coming towards him. And you're like, oh, well, clearly he's going to kick the ball. But like, because we're Americans and it's 1982, you had no idea that this black man was about to be upside down, kicking the ball.
Yeah. All right. Is that a black film?
Probably not.
Oh, shame.
Probably not. Hey, you're not cheating nobody but yourself not watching V for Victory.
You know.
What is it actually called? I think it might be actually called Victory.
Your brother
Damon and I watched this movie.
He says it is early 80s gold.
It is. Let's see.
I've never heard
Victor.
I've never.
And I'm gonna put Pele because somebody plays the Nazi.
Well, somebody has to. I'm sure they didn't recruit real Nazis. They'd have been much too
1981.
old. 1981.
Michael von Sydow. I wanted to say it was Max von Sydow, but it seemed kind of vaguely
He's
racist.
in that movie?
He plays a Nazi, of course.
Who directs this?
Who directs
this tour de force?
John Huston.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Pump the brakes. I'm sorry, Miss Green. There's a tangent coming.
Boom!
John Huston.
Let's see. They got a Wikipedia page. You see?
The Maltese Falcons. John Huston.
It's got a wiki page just like the Newmarks from Baltimore. John Huston. Oh yeah, and Prince's Honor. Maltese Falcon, Treasure Sierra Madre,
Treasure the Sierra Madre,
the Asphalt Jungle, African Queen, The Man Who Would Be King, Prince's Honor, and victory.
Get them. Well, now I have to see it. Honey, we're watching Victory this weekend.
Apparently, it was called Escape to Victory. It was stylized as Victory. It's a 1981 American, British, Italian sports war film, which I like to point out that sports war film is a link. Apparently, there's a list of sports war film directed by John Huston and starring Sylvester Stallone, Michael Caine, Max von Sydow, and Pele. The film is about Allied prisoners of war who are interned in a German prison camp during the Second World War who play an exhibition match of football against a German team. Boom.
Oh, my.
You're welcome.
I have to.
That is my gift to you.
I can't believe this.
That's my gift to you.
I do not believe this. I have to watch this film.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe
They
this.
defeat the Nazis with soccer.
I do not believe this. I do not believe this. Sharon Eldridge, and I see a couple of people are talking about our top 5, and they mentioned that Gremlins should have been on the list. Gremlins is another film that it actually was on the list, and the only reason I took it off the list was because I was trying to go do films that I thought were maybe more obscure.
Sure.
Because that is another one that gets talked about.
Absolutely.
As far as being a Christmas film.
Absolutely.
So that's the only reason why I didn't do Gremlins. But I recognize it's Yuletide here.
At one point, one of the Gremlins has on a hat, I believe. So
yes, there you go. All right.
Boy.
All right, Vince. We're always doing good on time. And then things just get away.
I can't believe you've never heard of Victory.
I've never heard of this film. I've absolutely never heard of this film whatsoever.
No. In the Christmas mode, I'm like Alexander O'Neill. That's my gift to you.
My gift. Yeah. Well, thank you. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Speaking of gifts that gifts don't keep on giving, ladies and gentlemen, the Michelle Mission has a very special gift for you coming in January. Where Vincent and I will be having our live podcast and screening of The Outside Story.
Yes, sir.
A cool film starring Brian Tyree Henry and Sadiqa Martin Green. We will be screening this film and doing a live podcast here in Philadelphia on Saturday, January 21st at City Winery in Philly. Tickets are on sale now. You can go to citywinery.com/Philadelphia to get your tickets for our live event. It promises to be a whole lot of fun.
Come on out, folks. Tickets are moving.
Yeah, they're moving. They really are. Actually, it's actually very surprising and very delightful.
I'll say you shouldn't be surprised.
I was surprised at the speed.
The speed. Okay. The speed.
The speed of it.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. No. I'm not surprised.
Not surprised.
Of course.
Okay.
Not at all. All right. All right, Vincent.
All right.
It's time for the Game of Kings.
All right. We could have defeated the Nazis with this.
That's the key. Why, you would be surprised what a person can do with just a sense of touch and a sense of sound.
Degrees of D'Urville Martin, ladies and gentlemen, where I give Vincent 2 actors, and he had 6 movies or less to get them one at a time connected to D'Urville Martin.
And perhaps I'll use a bicycle kick.
Perhaps you will use the bicycle kick instead of 5 on the black hand side. Let's see how this goes.
No promises.
Yeah. Vincent, in keeping with the motif,
Okay.
would you like Santa Claus or Mrs. Claus?
You know what? I had a really interesting conversation about Mrs. Claus a couple of days ago, so I'm going to pick Mrs. Claus.
Mrs. Claus.
Mrs. Claus.
So this actress who
Mhm.
has played Mrs. Claus in a film or
Oh, okay.
TV series.
Okay, nice.
Vincent in 6 movies or less
6 movies or less.
get from Derville Martin
Derville Martin.
to
2.
Shelley Long.
Shelley Long. The problem with Shelley Long is that she didn't make that many movies.
No, she did not, but she did movies. And I could get to her really easy.
And then the other problem is, like, I remember very vividly saying, certainly this isn't why you left Cheers. And she was in films that I was not interested in at all.
But to be fair, she had a few hits. Not super hits, but you know.
Oh, okay, here we go. Wait. Oh! Oh!
Now, for those of you at home, I will tell you that
That is not Shelley Long in Popeye.
no, that's not.
That is
Shelley Duvall.
That's Shelley Duvall.
Yes, Shelley Duvall. For those of you at home, I will tell you, because this will be of absolutely zero aid to Vincent, that Shelley Long played Mrs. Claus in the film The Mary-in-Laws.
Shelley Long, was she in the movie with the crazy makeup that kept you young? I honestly don't know what Shelley Long was in.
Oh, yes, you do.
I honestly don't know what Shelley Long was in.
While we are all reminiscing about her career-making role in Cheers as Diane Chambers, the show mission sends our condolences to the family of Kirstie Alley.
Oh, don't confuse me.
Who passed away this week at the age of 71.
I don't know what Shelley Long was in.
Do you want to know the last film that she was in?
Sure.
Okay, let's see. Let's get to her filmography. The last film that she was in. Well, she was in a film called Give Me Pity from this year. She was in The Cleaner last year. She was in Different Flowers in 2017.
Oh, boy, yeah.
A Matter of Time in 2014. And going back in time, the first film going backwards that has a link is 2013, Best Man Down.
I have no memory of
It's been a while since the height of Shelley Long.
Yeah, I mean, even at the height, like what was her big movie?
Her biggest movie?
Yeah.
Her biggest movie was probably the Brady Bunch movie.
She was in the Brady Bunch movie.
And a very Brady sequel.
Right. Oh boy. I guess I could use that.
Do you know anybody else in those movies?
Yeah. I don't know her name, but I know exactly who she is. And the way I'll get to it, you'll just have to give me the actress's name and you'll know exactly who she is. So this is what I'll do to get to Shelley Long in the Brady Bunch.
And then I'll tell you why you're going the long way.
I mean, I know I am because again, I don't know what else she would have been in, but Derville Martin is in All right. How do I want to get to Derville? How do I want to get to Shelley Long in the Brady Bunch? Derville Martin to get to Shelley Long in the Brady Bunch. Okay, so Derville Martin is in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Leonard Jackson, who's in Boomerang with Eddie Murphy, who's in I Spy with Owen Wilson.
Okay, I know where you're going.
Who's in Zoolander with what's her name that plays Marsha?
Christine Taylor,
who's in the Brady Bunch.
There you go.
Shelley Long.
There you go. I knew
but
that's
the
where
super short way to get to her would have been with
The Money Pit.
She sure was in The Money Pit. Who was the lead in that?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks and Shelley Long.
And Tom Hanks gets you to
Denzel Washington. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I like The Money Pit too.
The Money Pit is funny.
I forgot Shelley. You know what? I mix that combination up with the Kathleen Turner, Danny DeVito,
Michael Douglas movies, Romance in the Stone,
and War of the Roses.
Oh yeah, they did War.
I
of the
really
Roses
mixed
too,
it up with War of the Roses because War of the Roses, they bust up the house.
Yeah. The Money Pit is good.
Money Pit is good.
It's funny. But Shelley Long, like I said, she had those films.
Yeah.
The Brady movies. Those were probably her biggest films.
Mm-hmm.
But around the time that she does leave Cheers, she has Irreconcilable Differences, which is a modest success.
Who else is in that?
Ryan O'Neal and a young Drew Barrymore. She then does the Money Pit. She does have a big hit with Outrageous Fortune with her and Bette Midler.
Yes.
And then she does Troop Beverly Hills, which is actually like a modest hit as well in 1989.
Yeah.
So she had a little bit of she had a run.
Look, hopefully that Irreconcilable Differences money still comes in.
If anything, she probably is still eating off of some Brady.
That Brady Bunch money.
Yeah. That's probably where she's eating. Okay, but very good, Vincent. You got there.
Right.
Now it's time for good old Saint Nick.
So who plays Santa Claus?
Well, this is not the Santa Claus in the Mary-in-Laws movie.
Okay,
but this actor did portray Santa Claus more than once.
Okay.
Vincent.
Yes.
In 6 movies or less.
6 movies or less. Billy Bob Thornton.
Get from Derville Martin to Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney.
And again, another easy one.
It is an easy one, but I'm going to get to him in a way because I'm going to get to him in a movie that I despise him in.
That's a long list for me, but go
it's
ahead.
Actually just one for me. So,
Derville, I know how you're going there.
Yeah,
I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah,
go.
Yeah, you do. And I'll see if I can stay old timey.
Yeah, you will. Except for a leap.
Well, maybe. Let's see if I can do it. Derville Martin is in okay. Derville Martin is actually in I'm mixing my old-timey actors up in my head. Okay. Derville Martin is in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Katharine Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn is in oh my god, I just forgot the movie where she's on the boat with drunk Humphrey Bogart.
Oh, The African Queen.
Katharine Hepburn is in The African Queen with Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart is in Sabrina with Audrey Hepburn, who's in a film that I love, but I can't watch because it's like somebody made me a glorious dinner in Breakfast at Tiffany's, and then Mickey Rooney takes a shit in the middle of the dinner
Yes, he does.
as the Asian landlord.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I knew that's where you were going.
Yeah.
I knew that's exactly where you were going. Yeah, there you go.
It makes me so angry.
I know.
Because I love Breakfast at Tiffany.
And it comes out of nowhere in that movie.
Not only does it come out of nowhere, like I wish I actually was a filmmaker. It would be so easy to edit him out.
I know. You're right. You're right. It's such a shame. And it takes a big turn on what is really a good movie.
Yes.
You know, it's a movie that's a little bit stuck in its time.
Is that Billy Wilder?
Breakfast at Tiffany's? I don't believe that's Billy Wilder. I don't believe that's Billy Wilder. I'll let you know in a second. Yeah, that's Blake Edwards.
Blake Edwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I figured you'd go there. Now, do you know where Mickey Rooney portrayed Santa Claus?
Not at all.
He is the voice of Santa Claus in the Rankin Bass holiday specials. Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Oh.
And I believe he is also the voice in A Year Without a Santa Claus.
Nice.
Yes, he is the voice of Santa Claus.
It's not a bad gig.
Not a bad gig. There you go. For a guy who reportedly was not the nicest person in Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a child star. Was he a child star or a teen star? Like how old?
Because he was a child star, but as a teenager is when he blew up.
Right.
But he made a name.
Yeah.
He had a little bit of a name as a kid, but he then, blew up hard. Sharon Eldridge said that Vincent never goes the Katharine Hepburn route. Very good. This is thrilling.
Yeah.
Very good. What? Somebody asking for us to change what we're doing, the movie that we're reviewing. We can't do that.
To just review a different movie.
They're chiming in from Facebook, and Facebook doesn't, unless I can't see the name, but they're asking, can we switch Soul Food Christmas from this Christmas to almost Christmas? I mean, the mama died and there's a secret pie recipe involved.
We actually already reviewed this Christmas.
We did that last year.
That's right. And this Christmas had a dead father.
That's true.
Remember, she was with Delroy Lindo.
And hello, Meow Manifesto. How are you doing? Yelling from the back. I see you. All right.
So there you
go. Very good, Vincent.
All right.
It is now time for us to get into our review of Almost Christmas. But first, it is time for trailer talk.
We didn't have bottles of water. I'm parched.
Vincent is going to get a bottle of water while I talk.
You do to me all the time. Yeah, you talk.
I will talk to each and every one of you. Hey, I'm going to invite you to check out, and I don't even have a banner for it, and we're doing this in
I'll come over here and have a smoke.
Be quiet.
A smoke and a drink.
I'll invite you to check out, a third podcast that I do. Be quiet, Vincent.
Man, look.
On Wednesdays, I do a podcast with 3 friends where we talk about comic books, mostly comic books and pop culture type of stuff, called Cope Pop Go. You can look us up on YouTube. We actually stream that live from a studio in Manayunk. It's actually a very nice studio.
Okay.
It's really fancy. And tomorrow we are doing the top 5 events from. No, that's next week. It's next week. I'm not sure what we're doing tomorrow. They'll be mad at me, but I don't care.
Hey man, I love hobbies.
I bring soul to the show.
You and I, we were talking. My brother's here, right? You said my brother's in the chat?
When is he? Damon's always here.
Yeah, Damon, we were talking about the New Marks. We were talking about Baltimore hip hop history, the New Marks and DJ Spin.
You were. Hey, the quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about Baltimore hip hop.
Yes.
If you were to have one of those shirts.
Oh, don't ask
with
me.
the names.
With the 5 names of
Baltimore. Yeah. Who would it be?
I don't know, because I would, probably the New Marks.
Who's like the big Baltimore?
It's got to be hip hop, because we're a club music city.
Okay,
so it'd be like Miss Tony, definitely.
Okay, so like, is that the name that like it's not official unless Miss Tony's on it?
I mean, if you're doing club music,
okay,
and like the history of club music, and I'm by no ways an expert of this at all. But Miss Tony is absolutely iconic.
I mean, you used to cover the music scene in Baltimore.
Yeah, but that was years and years ago. So
okay, so you wouldn't like no
right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Miss Tony, Frank Ski come to mind immediately with me, and then I know it's some other people.
Okay. All right. I was wondering about that.
So like I said, the New Marks, even the New Marks were real old school.
Yes, they are. They are. Very good. And Damon says the New Marks, no Milli Vanilli.
Damon, that's what we were talking about. I was talking about Milli Vanilli. I mean, let's be real. That's what I was really
yes.
About.
Damon, your brother came in here hot, dog.
I'm absolutely fascinated by the Milli Vanilli.
He was showing me his Milli Vanilli playlist, YouTube playlist. I mean, he was going in on Milli.
Oh, baby, don't forget my number.
You're not going to put this earbud in my ear. He's been singing it for 2 hours. It's just that one verse.
Milli Vanilli was a thing that actually happened.
Yeah. They were. So are the Milli Vanilli, like, are they our monkeys? Are they black people's monkeys? Even though I think the monkeys have more credibility than Milli Vanilli.
Right. I think the monkeys always had that veneer of artifice, and Milli Vanilli was never black people's. Like, I think Milli Vanilli was almost 100% a white phenomenon.
Okay, yeah, but their story was on VH1, right, and BET. So you may not want to claim them.
It ended real black.
It's a story black people know. Right, we know that story. Right. So yeah,
I don't know who would be the equivalent of Milli Vanilli.
Like, what do you mean? Who would be the white equivalent of Milli Vanilli?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure there's got to be somebody that's like totally like fake.
Yeah, but totally fake and got found out that they were fake.
Well, you know who were totally fake and got found out and it didn't make a difference because they were just good and they made it work was the Gorillas.
No, everyone always knew that they were fake.
No, I guess you kind of knew.
Yeah, they knew. Yeah,
I don't know because it didn't really. I mean, it did kind of hurt the monkeys when you. And the crazy thing about it, it was just about them playing the instruments. It wasn't about because they were the singers.
I thought everyone knew from jump that they had been brought together for the TV show, and then they fought for respectability.
They fought for respectability, but they primarily fought for respectability as musicians,
right? Which that album Head is not bad.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not a bad album.
It's not. It's dated, but for the time, it's not. And they were a good singing group. And where they bristled was that they didn't play most of the instruments on a lot of their songs, their biggest hits. But they could play.
But they were actually musicians.
Yeah, Mike Nesmith was a musician. Mickey Dolenz was the lead singer. He was on the drums, but he could play almost every instrument.
Yeah,
you know. So What a shame. I know way too much about the monkeys because
Hey,
of my
man.
sister.
Look, I'm going through a Milli Vanilli phase.
So
So
there you go.
I cast no aspersions on anyone.
There you go. You'll appreciate this, and then we'll get into the movie review.
Okay.
Me and my friends, we have been like battling, trying to set a date where we can sit down and watch. My one friend has a DVD of the Secret Six. Is it the Secret Six or the Super Six cartoon show? No, Bionic Six. Bionic Six.
Bionic
Six. Ooh, ooh. Yes.
Yeah.
He's got the DVD of that, and I have the DVD of the Super 7.
Okay. Oh, that's real old school.
So we're trying to set a date where we could just sit
and watch.
and watch cartoons. My lady is just like, that sounds like so much fun. Just let me know when it is.
Right. So I can go and
Can be gone.
You know about we really do have to start, but you know, Bionic 6 is one of my triggers of nerd rage.
Rage?
Right, because remember, Bionic 1 was clearly Steve Austin, but they never actually came out and said
Well, they couldn't.
he was Steve Austin.
They couldn't, Vince.
Well, why not?
Licensing.
How much was the licensing in 1983 for a one-season television show for them to say this is Steve Austin?
I don't know. How much do you think Lee Majors and those people would have wanted?
Oh, you think you got to pay Lee Majors too?
Probably.
Lee Majors had a piece of it.
Because if they were going to make him, actually make him Steve Austin, they probably would have tried to approximate his likeness.
They approximated his likeness.
But it would have been a little bit more.
Bionic 1 is clearly Steve Austin.
Well, look, I could see, like, no.
All right.
You know,
It always bothered me.
it didn't bother me.
It
To be
bothered
fair, I don't remember.
It actually bothered me a
outside
lot.
of the theme song, I remember nothing of the show.
But you know, the whole family
I know it was a
was
family,
Bionic.
but I don't remember even what it looked like.
Yeah.
I just know the theme song.
It's like Bionic 1, Sport 1 was the son. He was good at sports.
Sport 1?
Sport 1 was they had two biological children, and then they had two adopted children. One was Asian, and are you sitting? He was good at martial arts. And then there was a black one, and I just remember his
I want to hear this.
his name was like some type of letters together. It was like TJ or Ark, something, because black people, we always have initials as our names.
He was a nigga one.
Oh no, that's terrible. But his secret, like when he was bionic, I think he was IQ because he was real smart.
Okay.
And then I forget what the daughter's deal was. She may have been psychic.
Mm.
It was one of those passive girl powers because girls. And then they did stuff. It was a Bionic 6. So it was him and his wife and their 4 kids.
Okay. And now then we really got to do this. So me and my friend were watching, fell down a YouTube rabbit hole.
It was one for like one season, but somehow all of us were obsessed with it. It's the weirdest thing how everybody
because of the theme song. The theme song is the earwig.
Go ahead.
Me and my friend were watching. Fell down a YouTube rabbit hole the other day, and we fell on this video where they were comparing DC and Marvel knockoffs.
Okay,
right? Like they copycat it from each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like
Squadron Supreme.
So, right, yeah. So and then it was like the
Retaliator,
Namor, Aquaman,
yeah.
Things of that nature. Catwoman, Black Cat,
mm-hmm.
And then they had the Martian Manhunter, John Jones.
Okay,
and his copycat that this guy who did this video posited was the Invisible Woman from Fantastic Four.
Is this someone who reads comic books?
That's what your face is the exact same face we had. We were like, yo, the rest of your list is totally suspect because that makes absolutely no sense. Okay, let's get it.
See, now I'm filled with rage and you're giggling. See? And you're oblivious to the fact that I'm ready for you to move on, and now I'm filled with rage. It's a rage lasagna or a parfait. A rage parfait.
Oh God. Oh God.
All right, let's go.
George Cremona says that the mom had psychic powers.
What'd the girl do?
There was IQ, Karate 1, Rocket.
His name was Karate 1.
Karate.
Why was his name Karate? Why was the Asian one named Karate 1?
Kung Fu 1 was taken.
That is terrible.
Somebody had it as a license plate.
I remember Sport 1, the son, his bionic power was he'd knock you out with a bat. He had a bat.
Perhaps the daughter was Rocket 1, because that's the last name.
I guess so. It must be.
So Rocket 1.
Because the little brother was IQ.
IQ.
Yeah.
Who was not, he didn't get a 1.
No, no one for you, Negro.
Well, you're one of one.
Right.
Because I'm sure there was no other Negroes
Right.
on the Bionic 6.
Damn, the Asian one was Karate 1. That got through everybody, huh? Yeah, let's go with it. You tell these people had drinks with lunch. It was on that madman diet. Let's go to lunch, have some roast beef, a baked potato, cream spinach, and 2 Boilermakers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
All right.
Enough of you. Miss Green is switching off. She's firing off a nasty YouTube comment.
I thought it was more of an observation.
Well, I don't want any more observations from Miss Green.
All right, well, come on, let's go.
Vince said he was oblivious. Anyway. Almost Christmas. A dysfunctional family gathers together for the first Christmas since their mother died. This 2016 Christmas comedy drama film, written and directed by David E. Talbert, stars Kimberly Elise, Monique, Nicole Ari Parker, Gabrielle Union, Carrie Hilson, Jesse Usher, Danny Glover, DC Young, Romani Malco, John Michael Higgins, and it is Vincent's selection for tonight's stop on a very Christmas show mission. Vincent, what say you of Almost Christmas?
Probably the most succinct way to give the Michelle Mission review of this film is to just recite the text exchange that you and I had about the film when we were choosing movies for December, where I said I wanted to do Soul Food Christmas and I want to do Almost Christmas. And then you text me back almost immediately and said, we reviewed that already. And I said, no. We reviewed the other Soul Food Christmas. This Christmas. Because Almost Christmas and This Christmas are part of maybe a half dozen, almost 10 different variations of this movie. This in a lot of ways, it's a riff of soul food where you have a family and there are siblings, and each sibling has their own little plot, and then they come together for a big dinner. In this case, in these versions of this soul food riff, they come together for Christmas. And that's what goes on in this film. It's some of the details vary from here to there, but it's all pretty much the same movie. And much like the Hallmark movies, they're pretty harmless. You know, they're pretty harmless. And we're going to go ahead and walk through here, but I'm going to land on this. You know, this movie is pretty harmless. So I'll start with the aspects of this film that I would say should be critiqued.
Okay.
First, this film commits the contradictory sin that a lot of films that have these multiple plots commit, where contradictory because on the one hand, it's too long. Like the film's almost 2 hours long. There's no reason for this movie to be 2 hours long.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it is way over plotted. And almost all of the plots are underdeveloped.
Yep.
So the film is too long and the plots are underdeveloped. It's not something that I think disqualifies this film, but it is certainly something that if you're looking at it as a film, you would notice.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I think the tone shifts just are wildly all over the place. The plot of this film, Danny Glover plays the patriarch of this family, a family with 4 children. The children played in age order, I believe. Kimberly Elise is the oldest daughter. Romani Malco is the oldest son. Kimberly Elise is the oldest daughter. She is a physician and she's married to
a dentist.
To a middling old basketball player played by J.B. Smoove.
Mm-hmm.
Romani Malco plays the oldest son. He is running for Congress, and his wife is played by Nicole Ari Parker.
Mm-hmm.
The second daughter, the younger daughter, is played by Gabrielle Union.
Mm-hmm.
Gabrielle Union is divorced, and she's in law school, which apparently is one of many professions that she has tried to pursue. So she's kind of hand to mouth. She's basically a starving student, but she's a starving
and single mother
because she's also divorced. And then the youngest child is played by, and I just lost him.
That would be Jesse Usher, right?
Jesse Usher.
Yeah.
Jesse Usher, who I have to say, I have noticed Jesse Usher more in the past 2 to 3 years, more than I ever noticed his existence, because he stars on Amazon's adaptation of the comic book, The Boys.
Mm-hmm.
When the film starts, Danny Glover's wife, the matriarch of this family, has died 10 months previously. So from the very beginning, it's like, whoa. So this is the first Christmas without mom,
mm-hmm.
which seems like a lot.
Yeah.
In a film with J.B. Smoove and Monique plays the deceased mother and wife's sister,
mm-hmm.
Danny Glover's sister-in-law. So in a film with Monique and J.B. Smoove, first Christmas without dead mom,
mm-hmm.
seems like a lot. But you think, okay, this is the tinge of melancholy that you get in a lot of Christmas movies.
Mm-hmm.
This film really leans in on that.
Yeah.
Like, this is a huge plot point,
mm-hmm.
from child to child, from plot to plot, about the mother being dead. And this is just one detail where the tone swings wildly, where you have these madcap moments. J.B. Smoove is always J.B. Smoove. Monique, a bit reserved for a Monique comedic role, but still Monique. And then every now and then you get these long sweeping shots of people mourning because it's only been 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
Again, J.B. Smoove is Kim Elise's character's husband, and he cheats on Kim Elise.
Yeah, he does.
But this is a plot point that I don't know if the film is really quite sure how we're supposed to deal with it. There's a moment at a dinner where the woman that he's cheating on her with ends up at the dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And from moment to moment, the tone changes, where it's almost a Tyler Perry type farce energy with Monique and J.B. Smoove and Gabrielle Union in a comedic vein, leaning into, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? But then there are moments where you realize that Kim Elise's marriage is disintegrating right at this table
in real time
with her children watching.
Yes, 2 kids.
Not only that, but at the conclusion, talking about the tone shifting, sometimes they shift from second to second, where there's, again...
Oh, not that. They're not her kids. I'm sorry. They're not her kids. They're Romani Malco's kids.
I thought they had children too.
Mm-mm.
I thought so they don't have any children?
Uh-uh.
Well, I guess in front of the nieces and nephews. And okay.
Right.
Where she pulls out a rifle. And again, it's very Medea-esque energy.
Mm-hmm.
All the way until the moment where she actually pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
And then there's a beat where the film has Danny Glover playing Danny Glover, trying to talk her down.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of this, I think, is really, David E. Talbert's background is on the stage. And I think a lot of this is these tonal issues is his reach extending his grasp or his grasp. I never know how that saying goes. I don't know if the reach or the grasp, but he's trying to do something that I don't know if at this moment he's displayed the skill to do.
Right.
So those are critiques.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, there's a lot of stuff in this movie that I kind of like.
Okay.
I like the cast. Like from cast person, I like everyone in the cast. Going back to a lot of his underdeveloped, damning with or critiquing with faint negativity. A lot of my critique is that I wanted more of some of these actors. Romani Malco, not enough him. We talked about him a couple of weeks ago.
The vampire.
Yeah. Love Romani Malco. Not enough of him. Nicole Ari Parker might as well not be here.
Yeah.
And as this sort of metatextual element in these movies, because she, of course, was on the long-running television show Soul Food. She's capable of being in the midst of all this. JB Smoove and Monique bounce off each other exactly how you think JB Smoove and Monique would bounce off of each other. I don't think you get enough of it. John Michael Higgins shows up, who this is our second time with him in the past couple of months because he was on Blade. He was in Blade Trinity. Love John Michael Higgins.
I love him.
Love John Michael Higgins with Romani Malco in the moments that they're together. Not enough of them. So one thing that there is enough of, and I'm glad they made this decision, I'm always looking for funny Gabrielle Union.
Okay.
And we get to see funny Gabrielle Union in here. She does physical comedy. She does great line delivery.
There's one line delivery she does at dinner. It cracks me up.
The line delivery at dinner, the one that cracked me up the most, the sibling relationships are good overall. I don't really understand the Kim Elise Gabrielle Union just acrimony. See what I did there between them? But Gabrielle Union with her other siblings are great. And Gabrielle Union and her brother, Jesse Usher, who's the much younger child, she has a line where she tells him, clearly you were an accident.
Oh, yeah.
He says, I wasn't an accident. And she says, oh, yeah, because couples always have their fourth child in their 50s. And just her line reading of it is so sharp.
Yeah.
That there's that. So that all of that, Omar Epps shows up. Always nice to see Omar Epps. So that, it's a soul food Christmas. It's one of these movies. It has its issues, but again, I'm going to land where I started. It's, pretty harmless.
It's a very harmless film, but I don't like it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. From the beginning, the film tries to endear itself to you, to the audience, by having a opening that takes you through the lifetime of Danny Glover's father character, his relationship with his wife. It starts back when I think it even starts when they first meet.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like jumps ahead years through the years, the birth of the kids and them moving into the new house and, raising the kids and everything like that then Danny Glover and takes over the role in these flashbacks, and all the way up to when she has passed, and you see him sitting alone in the house in their bedroom, right? And it's a very solemn, mournful moment, right? And it's meant to get you on the side of this character and feel the pain that he is going through at that moment, which you have to imagine is very immense, right? But I couldn't help but look at that and think that, oh, they're trying to recreate the opening of Pixar's Up.
Okay.
Which is considered one of the most, like, the opening of Up is one of the best movies of all time, right? But it is that opening follows that same track, that same storyline, and they're trying to do the same thing here. And here it fails to me. It doesn't, it just didn't connect to me. It didn't get me there.
Because
I don't think it's as well done. And two, and some might say this is a nitpick, but it just bothered me. I am taken out of that scene of us watching this couple in flashbacks grow and mature in their relationship and in their love as their family grows. I am taken out of that by Danny Glover and the paint that he is wearing in his hair.
Okay.
Because in his or the filmmaker's decision of having his hair painted brown, a brown that I don't believe exists in the coloring book throughout the movie.
They commit to that.
It takes me out of feeling for this obviously old man. Because the paint is not just in his hair on top of his head, it is on his mustache and his beard as well. And thus it makes this old man who we are supposed to be sympathizing with as he is dealing with the catastrophic loss of his wife. It looks like he is, still plagued with some vanity issues of wanting to look like a young man.
Interesting. So you think it was actually dye in the movie as opposed to like almost a Tyler Perry bad wig situation?
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether or not this is Danny Glover's choice,
right,
or the filmmaker's choice. Whomever's choice it was, it's the wrong choice for this film. That kept taking me out of some of these scenes, right? Then you like the cast. I like this cast individually, but together they have absolutely no chemistry. Perhaps that is a fault of the script, because like you said, it is overplotted and nobody is really given much room to kind of like fully develop their characters in any type of way, in any real significant way. But this is a cast, except for the kids, of very seasoned actors who, if it's not in the script, should be able to give off in their posture the impression that they are actually a family. And that is absent from this entire film. The reason why I don't feel the real beef between Gabrielle Union's character and Kimberly Elise's character is because I don't believe they're sisters. They don't come off as sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Romani Malco is not in the movie enough, nor is he around anybody enough for me to believe that he is actually a brother or a son there. And while there are allusions to how grief-stricken they are at the loss of their mother, I actually only felt that in one scene. And the one scene I felt it was by the person who I think, outside of the kids, who was giving the best performance in this movie, and that is Jesse Usher. Because there's a moment after he has a car accident and he is in the hospital, and he gives a speech about exactly why the loss of his mother means so much to him, and how much, about his mother, because we buried it. He's a promising college football star,
right,
who dealing with an injury is like got a slight addiction to painkillers, which then causes him later to have an accident. That's never really developed. You just see him popping pills every once in a while.
Right.
And apparently, the painkillers make him sleepy. He has a car accident.
Right.
But he's a promising football player who it looks like, he's destined for the NFL. And in that scene in the hospital, he talked about how his mother was going to be his date to the draft, and that they were going to be wearing matching outfits, and that how his mother was always there for him. Right. And it probably was not lost on him. And it's unsaid here, but that, he realizes like he wasn't an accident, but he had older parents.
Right.
And, he wanted, his mom to be there,
right,
knowing that, time was not necessarily on their side. And you can see how wrecked he is in that scene. And it actually comes through. And that is actually the first time in that entire movie that anyone in that film, to me, really brought that woman, the mother, into this movie.
Well, she's definitely more symbol.
Yeah, but
than person.
She's more symbol, but she is a strong symbol. There is this subplot of these missing recipes that they can't find of everything that she used to cook, and especially this miraculous sweet potato pie.
Right.
And the father gives lip service to, I looked all over and I could not find, this magic tin where she keeps all her recipes.
In his defense, it was in the cabinet.
Well, that's where I'm going. Because then the kids have lip service to like, I wish we could just find mom's recipes.
Right.
And then lo and behold, 3/4 through the film,
right,
as they are trying to just cook with their own, they go in the cabinet looking for ingredients.
Right.
And they're amongst the ingredients
right above the sink.
Right above the sink.
Yeah.
And it's not on the top of the cabinet.
No.
And it's not on the third tier of the cabinet. Yeah. It is on the middle shelf of the cabinet.
I feel like that was a detail that probably could have been seen to with another draft of the script.
There is the tin.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, I can't believe it was in the cabinet.
It was in the cabinet.
It was in the cabinet, not behind things.
Yeah.
It was in the cabinet.
I think it was
with the ingredients that you would use for the recipes.
Right. It's actually a good place
for the recipes.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you out of your freaking mind?
Yeah.
That was so freaking annoying to me. Yes. Like, because Monique, Monique's backstory, because like all these movies, you got to have everybody's backstory.
Everybody got a backstory.
Monique's backstory is that she is, a traveling background singer, backup singer, and she thought she was going to be on tour, but she's not on tour, so she came here to be with family, and she's going on and on about how when she toured with Mick Jagger and the Jacksons and Patti LaBelle and this and that and these and those and everything like that. later in the film, she's sitting down with Danny Glover's character, and they have a heart-to-heart about his wife. Danny talks to her, and for some reason, Danny, he looks very frail in this movie. I don't know if that is he's supposed to come off as frail. He looks very frail, and I think it sneaks into his acting because I don't think he's given that great a performance.
Well, he's kind of sleepwalking through the whole thing,
but in this scene,
he's just mourning.
He's talking about how he again paying lip service, how he misses his wife, and then he says like, how I wish I had could have been more for her, right? Words to that effect. And then Monique, her sister, who we are meant to believe had a strong connection with her sister, tries to console him by telling him a story about how she went on tour to Paris or something like that.
Yeah, it was a series.
So went to tour on Paris, and I went here, and I was on the Eiffel Tower, and I was there, and I was there, and I was living, my happiest life.
Living my dream.
Living my happiest life. And my sister was living hers too.
Yes.
Does she give any type of idea that there was a connection between her and her sister? Does she say that her and her, her sister often talks about how happy she was to be with Danny Glover?
Yeah.
Does she talk about how her impression of her sister's relationship with Danny Glover and how much she admired, him for doing this for her sister? No, she just says, my sister had a happy life too.
Yeah.
Excuse me? You can't give a little bit more?
Yeah, I think
that's a problem with the script.
Yeah, but I feel like you're expecting a lot from a script from the man that made he say, she say, but what does God say?
Perhaps I'm wanting more. But I'm also wanting a little bit more from, look, that may have been the only written dialogue that Monique speaks in this entire movie, because her and JP Smoove are riffing.
Just riffing.
They're just riffing out through anything. Yeah. And I feel like she could have riffed something a little bit better there.
Yeah.
That would have gotten over the sentiment that he was going for, right? And you talk about tonal shift. JB Smoove, he's a middling basketball player who has a Croatia All-Star Championship ring that he is showing off all over the place. Yes, he's a middling player. Yes, he seems very obnoxious, but you're not led to believe that there is too much dysfunction in his marriage with Kimberly Elise.
You think he's just obnoxious.
He's just a jerk.
Yeah.
Because he seems very family oriented.
Right.
He's there, he's playing with the kids.
Right.
They all love him and everything like that. So when he out of left field, and it's not an affair. When out of left field, he goes to the back room of a supermarket to knock off some young chick, and then it's blowing her head up about bringing her out to Chicago. That seems totally like incongruous with the character, what little that they built up, that we've been sold on for this film.
Well, they had to figure out a way to get Kimberly Elise and Gabrielle Union over the hump.
Right.
But
that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it,
man.
Then Gabrielle Union.
Yes.
Who I like Gabrielle Union. I like Gabrielle Union a lot. But this movie, you can tell that there are scenes, especially the scenes with Omar Epps, as kind of like the high school love returned home, and they're rekindling things. You could tell that those scenes are set up to show the lighter side of Gabrielle Union, the funny side of Gabrielle Union. You talked about she gets the opportunity to do physical comedy. She gets her Lucille Ball on, trying to climb into the window of the house. She gets a little bit scatterbrain things going on.
Mhm.
She gets her moments to showcase that skill set. I honestly, and I'm sorry, I don't think the movie serves her well, and I don't think she delivers. I don't know whether or not that is the director not really setting up the shots right, or she is just not giving it her all. I like Gabrielle Union enough that I'll give her the benefit of a doubt that she's not 100% giving it her all, and that's because she, along with not having any chemistry with her sister Kimberly Elise or anybody else in the family, has zero chemistry with Omar Epps.
Well, I feel like he just kind of shows up.
Well, okay, he kind of shows up. He literally just shows up and just keeps showing up. But there are scenes, especially a scene when they go jogging, where you're meant to try and feel something between them. You don't feel anything. There is absolutely no chemistry between them, and any type of romance that is born out of their scenes does not feel earned. And it's a big play at the end of the film, and it does not feel earned at all. Not at all. Like I said, Gabrielle Union, she has a funny line reading at the dinner table where, you know, things are blowing up with girlfriend, you know, the supermarket girl coming there, and things are getting out of hand. And Kimberly at least looks at Gabrielle Union like, because Gabrielle Union is the one who kind of like invited her there because she knew about
which again, it just seemed wild, just cruel.
That seemed very cruel,
yeah,
out of character, and again brings up another plot hole. But just getting into this line, Kimberly Elise says like, "Oh, so you knew?" And then Gabrielle Union, funniest scene in the movie, says, "What? Yes, I'd like more ham." It's the best scene.
That was your one.
That was my one. Yeah. That was my one. But then, so girlfriend comes, JB Smoove runs out of the room before girlfriend can see that JB Smoove is here, where she doesn't believe he is. Gabrielle Union goes into the kitchen as well. JB Smoove confronts Gabrielle Union. It's like, why would you do that as far as inviting girlfriend to the dinner?
Right.
JB Smoove had, at that moment, we're not led to believe that he has any idea that she invited her to the dinner, nor are we led to believe that he knows that Gabrielle Union knows about him cheating with her.
I think when old girl comes in the door, and in your defense, it's a lot of crosstalk. Because the whole scene is a mess.
It's a whole mess. It's a whole mess.
But I think she says something to the effect of, "You invited me," and then Gabrielle Union says, "You didn't get my message not to come," or "You didn't get my message," and she's, "Oh, I don't check my voicemail."
Okay, so even if but even if he hears the "you invited me" bit, he still doesn't know that she knows.
Oh, I mean, he knows.
Anyway. At the end of the day, I just feel that the movie is a bit of a mess.
Absolutely.
It doesn't coalesce together at all. The tonal switches keep taking me in and out of the film. I don't feel any of the big moments, the big revelations, and, you know, Romani Malco's character getting a change of heart as far as becoming a congressman and anything like that. I don't feel anything lands in this movie at all. And I was just bored. I just land on, I don't think it's a good film at all.
You know, I did like Gabrielle Union.
I like the kids.
The kids were pretty good.
I like the kids.
Kids were pretty good, actually. I like Gabrielle Union. I like Jesse Usher.
And for the role that she plays, Carrie Hilson is good.
Look, man, she
who plays like the other woman.
Yeah, she plays the other. I really like Monique. I'm gonna put a really in front of that. Like, I really like Monique. Like, I liked to the through line in here. I think part of it is she was not shackled
Mhm.
to the script.
Well, no,
Like,
she was not at all.
but she brought some energy.
Okay, I'll give
She
you
brought
that.
some energy.
I'll give you that.
And frankly, I think she brought more energy to the moments with Danny Glover, who I do think was sleepwalking through the whole thing. And again, if I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, say he was sort of in mourning.
Mm.
But yeah, I like Gabrielle Union. I like Monique, and just sort of at some point you're going to be wrapping gifts in the next 2 weeks.
So you just kind of put it on.
This is very much that one of those. Again, I think it's this and this Christmas were released in the theater,
Mm-hmm.
but BET and TV One
And now Netflix
and Netflix, like they churn these movies out every couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true.
You got to hear Danny Glover say, "I'm getting too old for this shit."
Yeah, he has to put that in every movie now.
But in your heart, they wanted to squeeze in some color purple stuff at the dinner table.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think Danny Glover said, "We're not going to do that."
Yeah.
But they wanted a color purple.
I'm sure he's going for every riff he could.
Yeah,
every riff he could. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So would you recommend that people see Almost Christmas? Yeah, there's the rub.
Recommend is so active.
Yeah.
Like go and watch that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I'd recommend it. Like go and find it.
Yeah.
But again, over the like somebody's gonna be putting together. And I do appreciate the fact that the dish that he was having difficulty making was sweet potato pie, which is hard to make. But at some point, y'all are going to be making a sweet potato pie or some macaroni and cheese or wrapping some gifts. And if you have TV One or Bounce or BET on in the background, there's a short.
Would you recommend the movie?
If it comes on BET while you're wrapping gifts, yes.
So you recommend not turning it off?
I recommend not turning it off. That is 100%. I stand behind that. If a television is already on and this film is on the television, I recommend that you continue doing what you're doing.
And leave it on.
Make your Christmas playlist,
Mm-hmm.
wrap some gifts,
Mm-hmm.
put up your Christmas decorations in the background.
Mm.
And you?
No.
Would you recommend turning the channel?
Would
you recommend getting up and turning the channel?
Well, first of all, no one's getting up to turn the channel.
I mean,
But, yes, I would hastily turn the channel because I would argue that while this might be on TV One or Bounce,
mm-hmm.
maybe even BET, maybe even BET Plus
or BET for her.
Mm. Pretty safe in saying you'll find something else on television.
But now I gotta look for it.
No, you don't.
I gotta look for it.
No, you don't. Go to the Hallmark Channel. Go to Netflix. Go to the Hallmark Channel. These movies will be playing on a rotation.
Oh, well, yeah. See, I think it's
Lifetime.
better.
They'll be playing on a
I
rotation.
think it's better than upwardly mobile white lady lawyer who goes to the small town and meets the guy. And
So if you go on Lifetime,
chops
they got a few. They got a few of the black.
And then you realize that you want to leave a big city and live in a small town.
No. You go to Hallmark or Lifetime, there'll be a few movies like the Tia and Tiara Mowry. They got like tons of these movies.
Are they uptight? Are they upwardly mobile lawyers?
They're
in the big
upwardly
city,
mobile
town, and then
lawyers or bakers.
Bakers
moving to Black Christmas Town, USA.
Black Christmas Town.
Making sweet potato cookies.
Red velvet eggnog.
Red velvet eggnog.
You just walk through the town and you just see little children going, "In my mind." Black Christmas Town is probably awesome.
It is. It is. You know it is. Shoot. So no,
So,
I can't do it.
Lynn would recommend getting up
Mm.
and going to the God and what is on.
I would recommend almost anything else.
Almost
but
anything else.
Almost Christmas.
But this Christmas.
This Christmas.
This Christmas over. It's almost.
It's a
Christmas.
better cast.
It's a better cast. Is it a better cast?
Idris Elba, Regina King.
Okay, keep
done.
going. Keep going.
Delroy Lindo.
Okay.
Loretta Devine.
Oh yeah, Loretta Devine.
Done.
Is it
done.
Might be a better cast. Okay, so this Christmas over almost Christmas.
Yeah, easy.
Okay.
Easy.
All right. Monique wears several wigs in this one. Monique making up the dishes was really funny to me. And her describing bubble tea.
Yeah, that was very funny.
But again, I think that is in spite.
But also, that's also one of the weird, like one of the more troubling films in the movie, because those parents like force feed that food to that kid.
That made me laugh.
They just traumatized that child.
Boy, for Romani Malco to be so funny, he does not get an opportunity to be funny in here. Yeah.
I know.
All right. I don't have energy to fight you about.
Oh my God. Miss Makiba says sweet potato cookies sounds like the move though.
Red velvet eggnog. All this is in Black Christmas Town.
All right. Before we tell you about the film that we will be reviewing next week and the very special guest that we have next week, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you all to check out the Michaud Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast, every Black film ever made. Go to michaudmission.com where you can hit swag, check out all of the cool designs that we have by way of our good friends at T Public. Including our 6 Degrees of Dorval Martin collection. And yes, for you in the chat who are asking for a top 5 t-shirt because you like our logo, look for that. That will be debuting next week.
All right.
Because you're not the first one that asked me about that. And me and Vincent just got finished a very secret project we've been working on for a year. So finally got into the stages. You'll be hearing about that in 2023,
yes,
folks.
Sir.
So I've got time again. Also, feel free, leave us a voicemail. Hit us up at 215-867-9666. Tell Vincent and Len what are on your mind. Email us at michaudmission@gmail.com. You can follow us on all the social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for now at Michaud Mission. Subscribe to the Michaud Mission on YouTube, youtube.com at Michaud Mission. Love building our subscribers. And wherever you check out our audio podcast, especially if it's Apple, please give us a 5-star rating and a review because that helps people find our show, which is a proud member of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com. They make podcasts work. All right. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Michaud Mission, boy, we have a doozy for you as we stay in the holiday mode, and we have a very, very special guest. If you are a fan of Philadelphia radio, then there is, especially hip hop and soul music radio here in the city of brotherly love. And it comes time to listen to news, and getting the news that you can use. There is only one voice that people turn to here in our city, and that is iHeartRadio's very special Lorraine Ballard Morrow.
Wow.
Who will be our very special guest next week here on the Michaud Mission as Vincent and I review Lorraine's choice, Last Holiday, starring none other than Queen Latifah herself. Last Holiday from the year 2006 next week here on the Michaud Mission.
All right.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
That promises to be big fun. Until then, he's Vincent, I'm Len, and in parting, we say,
we'll see you when it's time to meet again.